Welcome, Wellspring Church, to day 20. And today we're going to be looking at families and marriages. And we're going to be in Ephesians 5:22 through 6:1. And with that, I would love for Victoria to start off for the beginning.
Ephesians 5:22 and 23. Wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord, because the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church. He is the Savior of the body. So I think when, as wives, we hear that word submit, we don't really like it. It's kind of scary, especially in today's day and age. Nobody really likes to submit to anyone. But I think in this context, Paul is talking about just a healthy respect you have for your husband and someone over you in authority. And so I just think as wives, we are supposed to respect our husbands and be their helper in everything that we do. So one thing I'm trying to do better at this year is praying for my husband, especially in these 21 days of prayer and fasting. I've kind of been just focusing on praying for my family more, praying for my husband. So as we are looking at this passage, ladies, what is one way you can pray for your husband this week and your families?
All right, husbands, we're going to be talked to in verse 25. He says, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her." And so my encouragement for you as husbands is that as our wives are submitting to us, we're ultimately submitting to Jesus. And the way that we submit to Jesus is to make sure that our wives are stepping into their calling and our children are stepping into their calling. So that means sometimes we've got to take a back seat. We've got to say no to what we want to do so that we can push our families forward. And ultimately, we're looking to the gospel and Jesus in all of this. And so husbands, what's one way that you can pray for your wives and your families this week? One small step that you can take to lean further into Jesus and further into God. Lastly, we want to look at 6:1. It says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord because this is right." Ultimately, what we're seeing here is that Paul's unfolding this beautiful imagery that Christ and the church are represented in marriages. And our wives represent the church and us husbands represent Jesus. And so we are to guide and direct our families. And as our people, other people see, our friends, family see our families, what they should be seeing is Jesus in the church. So we're praying for you guys. We love you. You have a great week. We'll talk to you later.